certain socio-political factors that are affecting our day-to-day life. We could call it targeted discrimination, targeted hate, targeted maybe racism. We're entering into the racism sphere. Yesterday at 6 a.m, a certain African American group that guards the park wanted to stop me from entering, saying that it's at 7 o'clock, just for the sole fact of believing that they have this power over a certain group of people. And I am with the marginalized homeless community on the outside. I'm not a regular citizen that's going to come to work here. I'm outside and I do my thing, but I have a track record. They'll see me here at 6 a.m. They'll see me at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at a public library. I'm pretty consistent. 4 weeks, 8 weeks will go by and I'll do exactly the same thing. So yesterday they felt the need to impose this control. And if it's not control, it's discrimination or blatant disregard for the other person. Let's say, sitting close to you to wake you up, like you're falling asleep sitting on a bench and they're trying to wake you up, saying things to you, right, in a disparate manner when you're sitting in an area they don't want you to be at, right? Because we're all free. This is private area, like they believe that they got the full control of the park. And this is how these people have been behaving. And when I lay down, because I lay down for most of the winter last year, I continued to lay down past spring, and they made me get off the floor. Why? Because the African American population was looking for every way possible to stop me from getting comfortable. Telling me to get up, laying next to me to be visible, right? I'm invisible, they're visible, like putting chairs and sleep around me like if this was a tent house on chairs or whatever, just to get me exposed and get me to stand up and leave for the sole reason that I was white. Because if I was black, I would have probably been laying on that spot till this day. And based on the socio-economic, social shift out here in the city, we could blame this population for other things. And I'm not going to go too deep, but it's been known that the African American population is, bound by drug addiction, by poverty, but they're also the same ones buying luxury goods. Also the same one at Gucci, at Louis V at the end of the winter. You see? They're the ones spending a lot of money. And we don't know where that money's come from, but they like spending a lot of money. And in the current sense, in New York City, for example, they're the ones overpricing food. They're the ones that made sure that there were no affordable options in nearby supermarkets by hawking what we like or what we sought to find that was affordable and overpricing it by the next week. Could be a can of peanuts, could be a meal, could be something that's worth $3-4. They were responsible in New York City for jacking up these prices. And anyone refusing or refuting this fact must not know that they have most of the retail jobs in the city. Though the people distributing the food is them. There's not an entirely a Caucasian supermarket in New York City. It's all of them. So from this perspective, what can we say? These people overprice our food to get Gucci at the end of the year, to get Louis Vuitton at the end of the year. The same people want to discriminate you because you're white and homeless and try to stop you from coming at 6 a.m. to a mall. Trying to discriminate. No, it's 7 for you. Like in their mind, they think that they got the upper hand, that they could do anything to you. If you listen to these people, right, and you don't confront them and say to their face, I could come into this establishment at 5 in the morning when Starbucks opens, or at 6 in the morning when the entire thing is down, when everything is on in here, at least the breakfast stuff. You see, if you don't tell them that, they think that they could run the show. They think that they could take this routine from me. You know, that's all they want. They want to change the schedule of my routine. That's why you can't trust these people. That's why these people have a really big socioeconomic problem in their belt. You know, because it's not just food. It's not just treating you differently. It's something deeper. And deeper is basically what has happened to me since I've been here. You know, deeper, if you want to look deeper, is the insane hatred for Caucasian people that have money and are successful. That's the root of all problems here. And if anyone denying that, anyone putting a curtain, a veil, right? Anyone not listening to this red herring, I think it's time to change. Because I think there's white people right now being assaulted on the train. I think there's white people being raped on the train for passing out by mistake on the train, that they don't know these things are happening. There's a white person on the train getting their feet stomped by a black person forcibly to get bunions and ugly looking toes. You see? There's a white person on that train getting their pockets ran, their clothes slashed, raped. We're talking about genitalia out, about to put it in their person's mouth. There's a white person in the train right now getting their hair twisted. If they fell asleep doing these dreadlocks in the specific area that makes their head bald, there's many neurodivergent people with their head bald because these people have taken advantage of them. Not because they don't know how to take care of themselves and comb their hair. Nah, because they twisted their hair so tight in the right areas of the skull. If you don't know how to take care of it, you're going to be bald. And I was bald. They tried doing that to me, but I saved my hair. I knew exactly what I needed to do to not have that neurodivergent, mentally ill bald spot that the current generation of African Americans is giving Caucasian / white people / homeless people that are on the street. And when you look at it you look for this way, right? When you look in depth to this problem, we don't have a knife addicted on dope on the street looking to slash someone. That's them. And American people's irresponsible for not arresting that black woman with a knife in the middle of Times Square, almost slicing a man's throat. That's the problem in New York City, that the general population here of all races sees discrimination, sees racism, sees violence, sees hate, and looks forward, sees drug addiction, is exposed to all types of all types of drugs thanks to this African American community that thinks that they could do anything next to you, even blow the smoke or powders at your face, and don't say anything. Everyone's facing forward, afraid, or silent, or don't want to listen. And what they need to do is stand up. Because I'm pretty sure we outnumber these people. We could get them fired for these jobs. We could get them fired. We could stop them from having control over the park to discriminate homeless people. Tell them, yesterday, what they do yesterday. Last year, they stopped me from laying down. Last night, they were like, oh, this area is closed. You can't sit there. Like, no, I'm not going to go out there, man. Get the fuck out of here. Like he knew he was trying to create a phantom rule to apply it to me. He knew for a fact in deep in his brain, like a child, that he was attempting to create a phantom rule so that I did not sit there behind a pillar and sleep and be warm. So I had to tell him, I'm not going out there. It's cold out there. I'm sitting right here. I'm sitting. And that's it. They had to walk away, because that's how everyone must go through their manipulation, from looking to stop you from having multiple outlets at a public library, discrimination in public library, forcing all these neurodivergent drug addicts in a public library for not having outlets on the street, overpriced food, violence, assaults, drug addiction. It's they say we are the problem, but we know that they're the problem. We know that food prices in New York City would be at an all-time low if it wasn't for these people looking to buy Gucci and Louis Vuitton at the end of the year. Because in American minds, Caucasian mind, Louis Vuitton is for celebrities in Hollywood. It's not for the neighborhood kid to display their wealth. It's a big difference. I mean, we like our good shit. I like my Apple computer. I like my Nike shoe. I like these, strange warm clothing like Carhartt. I like my fashion brand, but I'm not actively pursuing or making a line, being shown as the prime consumer of luxury items. You see, that's for Hollywood, but that's where the social conflict is starting to take a foothold in the American economy. They overpricing your food so that you don't have a full pantry, and with all these jobs, at the end of the year is gonna go look for Gucci, for Prada, for this and that, and you have nothing. And you're never gonna own none of that shit. You're never gonna own a Chris Louboutin, right? A Louboutin, a red bottom shoe. You're never gonna have a Prada purse. American people are never gonna have none of that. But that's what these people target. So, if you want to pay attention without being racist, right? Without thinking that you're racist, and start focusing on the problem that New York City has, start speaking up. That's all I'm asking for. As a doctor, if you feel that these people is making up the rules to trigger you, right? To discriminate you, stand the fuck up. Yell at their face. Get up at their face like a drill sergeant and say, "You dumb motherfucker, this shit opens at 6. You're not going to hold me outside hostage because you think you can make up the rules for me. I'm a free citizen. I'm not your prisoner." You see? That's what you need to do. Call them out for their bullshit. Call them out for their phantom overpricing. Call them out. You need more people. And it's likely that once they vacate the city, which is going to take tens of years, maybe 20, 30 years, that this goes back to normal, food prices are going to go down. But they're a problem in the entire country. I know so. I don't need InfoWars or Alex Jones to tell me this. I'm seeing the problem firsthand, at least in blue states. I'm seeing the problem face to face. Hawking me, walking around, looking, thinking about saying something for me, sitting at 2 a.m. in the morning, looking to catch a couple Z's. This is what these people turned into, and you helped them get there. You gave them the right political opposition. You gave them the right mayor. You gave them all the resources so that they could turn around and fuck you. That's all they did. So, hope y'all have a good week. I'll go the rest of the week. I'm having my coffee, opening my computer, getting to stock trading. Be vigilant, speak up. If you're in the city, you're the one you need to do. You gotta stop hanging out with these people, Papa. You white, you Puerto Rican, you're something else. You're just fueling these people to feel different for people who are a little bit lighter than them. Because you never know when you're gonna be homeless too, and they're gonna be trying to do this shit to you real dirty. Put fingers in your mouth, they dick in your mouth, twisting your hair, try to make you bald, discriminate you, try to wake you up, right? Touch you inappropriately, run your pockets, slash clothes, all the shit that has happened to me already here. Yeah. Those were not white people. The white people don't do none of that shit. Hope you'll have a good morning and enjoy the rest of the day. Dr. Roman.